Apologies for the slight mishap. Let's go on Zoom now and speak to Franklin Cudjoe, founder and president of Imani Africa. We'll also speak to Theodore Jegle of the Ghana Hospitality Association. Mr. Cudjoe, thank you very much for joining us, first of all. This program that government is embarking on, some have described it as simply piling on more debt that Ghanaians will pay later. What's your take?
The debt levels are worrying. In fact, when I saw the figures, I was beginning to ask myself whether these are sustainable. I think we've found a further excuse as a result of the pandemic to already our debt even to resuscitate some aspect of the economy. The interventions announced yesterday disproportionate when it comes to, if you like, the fine details about how to bring a productive economy back on its track. So I see a lot more welfare-based policies without any real plans of how to make investments out of the very spending we are making. So those are my preliminary remarks.
But surely, Mr. Cudjoe, and we have seen a 1.2 billion CD program directed at businesses, and this Ghana Cares program is going to see 100 billion investment between 2021 and 2023. Is that not directed towards the productive sectors of the economy?
Well, if you understand what was proposed, it was supposed to be a collaboration between the public and the private sector. So presumably, the private sector would have to be interested in projects that would be to almost to the tune of 70 billion Ghana cedis in order for them to invest. Where the magic one is going to come from. We haven't seen all the details yet, but I suspect that they may be given a number of, if you like, concessions to be able to invest that staggering amount into the economy. 70 billion is a lot of money. I don't know if we can raise all of that locally. But if the private sector has been, we definitely need to have private sector. Is it local private sector? Because there's been some harping on the fact that we need to give room to local participation in the economy. I don't know where we are going to pick 70 billion Ghana cedis from this economy. This economy doesn't have that type of money. Otherwise, we need to go in detail and ask ourselves whether we are likely to invite external private investors, which is also not a bad idea, by the way. But that would also mean that then would have lessened our insistence on the local participation in the economy.
Now, Mr. Cudjoe, on the capacity of the economy to support a 70 billion fundraising, at face value, it may look almost impossible, but government has borrowed about 110 since it came to power in 2017. So the question then will be that if what was borrowed from the Eurobond, clearly this economy has had that appetite to be able to give government some significant amount of money. Mr. Cudjoe. Unfortunately, we seem to have a slight technical connection with Mr. Cudjoe at Mr. Cudjoe's end. We will come back and complete that. Just to get a clear understanding of what he was saying, his point was that we may not have enough money in Ghana to fund 70 billion Ghana cedis as government aims to do. The question that I actually had to him, and I understand Mr. Cudjoe is back with us, Mr. Cudjoe, my question was that government has borrowed about 110 billion since 2017. A large amount of this has been from the local economy. Is this not an indicator that there may be capacity in Ghana?
You're suggesting that the amount that have been borrowed, 110 billion, was all appropriate economy.
I said a percentage of it, Mr. Cudjoe.
Not the entire amount of money, but a percentage of it.
That's true.
So clearly, the point really to be made is we are not suggesting that the economy cannot withstand these types of investments. We are only asking about the propriety of should I call it it's the source. And I'm not too sure we can handle that 70 billion Ghana cedis from this economy. I'm not entirely sure about that. I mean, what's the total capitalization of our banks, right? And so, but by the way, private sector should not be misunderstood to mean only local participation. I was always saying that if the insistence is on the fact that we need to allow local content and local participation and economy, then it presupposes that the sources of capital must be properly identified. It may as well not be capital all from within the country, but
Right.
they must be. That's what the point I'm making.
And we have seen in the past, Mr. Kudjo, just quickly, the finance minister took that 2.25 billion from Franklin Templeton, that it was a foreign source, but it was brought into the local economy, changed into Ghana cedis, and then lent to government. Is that a route that we could explore this time around?
Yes, I'm always saying that the insistence that there's going to be 100 billion Ghana cedi alleviation program, which may be partly private sector led, is not defined. And if it's not defined, but if it is to the extent that we have international participants in it, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I was always saying that it will then fly against our insistence on owning the I call it the command heights of our economy. That's all.
Franklin Kudjo, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. He is the founder and president of Imani Africa.